All right, I messed up again. Like I've said before, normally I do the intro like right after we do the episode so that I can keep it fresh in my mind what we were talking about, but I didn't. I waited until the next day, so I fucked up again. So, yeah, we talk about sports. I don't really know how I'm going to do. Actually, I know what I could talk about in this intro. I might be a little too late, maybe 6 months too late on this, but let's, 6 months. No, it's probably been like 3. Let's talk about Cyberpunk for a minute. Cyberpunk. It was okay, right? Well, if you need another reason to hate it, I got one for you right here. A few months ago, I'm in the mountains with some friends. We go to this bookstore. It was a cool little bookstore, actually. It was really sweet. And the lady that worked there was like 90, and she was so sweet. I loved her. But anyway, I see this book called Neuromancer, written by William Gibson. And it's got this really cool cover. It's green, and it's got this really interesting cover. And I'm like, all right, I'll check this out. So I buy it. And it's literally like Cyberpunk is directly ripped off from this book, man. Like the city in it is called Night City. Like, and then like the stuff that they use to like, you know, protect themselves or whatever in the Matrix or whatever, it's called ICE, just like it is in Night City in Cyberpunk. It's ridiculous. That game is, I mean, I like it, but I'll just be honest. It was a disappointment. Today's show, though, will not be a disappointment. Look at me being a podcast host. This is amazing. Anyway, it's not going to be a disappointment. A lot of laughs. We talk about sports, all of the sports, as I said before. Quite a lot on Tom Wilson and his dirty hit. And we talk about UFC quite a bit, too, and the dirtiness that went on there today. So this weekend. So I guess today's show is like the big dirty. All right, that's enough. Let's start the show.
Blasting my shorts, bro. You can say whatever. I might not talk a lot to begin with. Just try to transfer these notes. You're good. You're good. All right, welcome to this episode of Stone Sports. I'm your host, Bert. With me, as always, I have my co-host, Double. Say what up, Dubs.
Transbutia from the right fucking person this time on the right fucking day.
And Meech. What up, Meech?
Transbutia.
No.
I wondered. Nah, I'm done. I'm done doing that. I just want to get a rise out of him a couple weeks in a row. What's up, guys?
What's happening? How was the weekend, boys?
Alcohol filled.
Yeah. What about you, Meech?
Good. Just grilling up some stuff. Made some money in Top Shot. Made some money gambling. Lost some money gambling. Back to making money gambling. So just
Highs
also
and lows,
alcohol
riding the
fueled.
roller coaster.
Word?
Not smoking right now, but totally drinking.
Nice. Good for you, bud.
I sparked up before the show.
Yeah, I didn't do... I mean, we played Chell earlier this weekend, but I got Star Trek Bridge Crew, so I've been playing that. And I watched a crazy Netflix documentary about
what?
murder among the Mormons, I think is what it's called. I watched it last night. It's pretty intense. I don't really want to spoil it, so...
I'll have to check
Oh, is
it out.
Yeah, you should check it out.
About the like super, like in Utah, like the super, like what are they called?
They're called Super Mormons. You were right.
They're the ones that like still believe in polygamy and shit.
No, it's not about that at all.
Oh,
It's not about that at all. It's really intense. You should definitely check it out. So, any nonsense today to start the show off, Dubs? You just want to move right into the baseball?
I got an Australian named Corey Philpott. He pulled a 3,300-pound Ford Ranger, 26.2 miles in 16 hours and 12 minutes.
22 miles?
26 miles. He did a
Jesus
marathon
Christ.
pulling a Ford Ranger.
I'm going to need you to stop using these at the beginning of the show because they're just making me feel useless as a human being.
Right?
I lifted a table like 10 minutes ago. I'm still out of breath. Like, what are you talking about?
The other story I was thinking about using was from Florida, and I was like, we've had a lot of Florida people recently. We'll switch it
Florida
up.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, yeah, there's no way around it. Eventually, it's just going to be like all Florida in the news. So, all right, let's do some baseball. Hit me.
In the mouth. Punch him right in the fucking face.
Hit this man in the face. The only thing I had for baseball, I mean, it's of course in the swing of things. All the clubs have started spring training by now.
See what you did there.
JBJ, wow. JBJ signs with the Brewers. Your boy gone for 2 years, $24 million.
Definitely
they-
didn't get what he wanted. That's why he held out for so
No, but he's
long.
also not that great of a player.
That's-
Like
yeah,
I don't
I
think,
didn't
he was worth
gonna-
that much money.
No, he wasn't going to bring in a 4-year, $50
It's
million
like
deal.
$250 a year, I think.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And I mean, he's good. Like, don't get me wrong, he's a solid outfielder. They're
He's
a
a
little
two-
bit packed in the outfielder because they're in the outfield. So one of the things I read said that maybe this means that they know that Ryan Braun is retiring. I
that's
also
possible.
looked into it as maybe they know that the DH is going to happen again this year. So we'll see.
But yeah, JBJ, solid contract. He's great defensively. His average and hitting is hit or miss. He gets streaky, but he's a career 230 hitter. So we'll see what he can bring to Milwaukee there. Another thing, the Indians had 2 players break COVID protocol, Franmil Reyes and Jose Ramirez. This is Reyes' second violation of the COVID protocol. If you recall last year when Clevenger got busted, Reyes was a part of that as well. But apparently the two went out to dinner after a spring training game, and that's a no-no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they are getting disciplined and forced to quarantine. The only other thing I had for baseball was Meech's new favorite pitcher, Trevor Bauer, had a shutout inning with one eye closed.
Yeah, and then called out Machado. Did you see him call out Machado
Yeah.
afterwards? Which is
Yeah, I
great.
did.
Like he's already ingratiating his fans to himself to Dodger fans. Honestly, calling out Manny.
What
I
happened to
fucking
his
hate
eye?
Machado.
I didn't see
We
that.
all do.
What happened to
Nothing.
his eye?
He just closed
He
it.
just
Oh, he just closed it.
Because he quote unquote wanted a challenge.
Yeah, he's just
Yeah.
flexing. Nice. That's dope.
Also, I believe they won the game and then started talking mad shit. Who cares? And I've heard that like it's Yankees Boston, and I'm like, what are you, who said that? Because whoever said that is the biggest idiot ever. I will say
Agreed.
the Dodgers Giants rivalry is similar to that, just like the Cubs Cardinals. Like there are classic rivalries. They're not a part of that. They haven't been competitive for 35 years. I mean, who cares about the fucking Padres? No one. So whoever
Right?
made that comparison, and I don't know because I didn't read it, but that's the stupidest comparison I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah. Yeah, they're pretty
I would
irrelevant.
agree
So
with you.
I think you have to be relevant to be a rival.
That's saying something for a league that has very, 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 very deep competitive rivalries in baseball. Like I mentioned, you have the Yankees Red Sox, you have the Cubs Cardinals, you have the Dodgers Giants going back to their New York days. So like
Yeah.
you have a lot of rivalries. That's not one of them.
Yeah, I mean the rivalries are so intense because they're so old most of the time.
Right.
I mean, like I said,
Yeah,
the
exactly.
Dodger Giant one goes back to fucking when they were both in New York.
Exactly,
they're-
right.
the
And
Red Sox and the Yankees have been playing each other since the fucking
Yeah.
1900s came.
Yeah.
in.
right,
Yeah.
and you see trends in both of those. They're each competitive. The Dodgers
Right.
have won eight titles. The Giants have won 3 World Series titles. Like we're always fighting for the top of the division. Not the last few years, but generally it's us at the top of the West, and that's why. And the same thing with the AL East with you guys and the Yankees, and the same thing with the Central with the Cards and the Cubs. Like those are classic rivalries, not only because they go back so far, but because each team is competitive and
Right.
they can screw each other over for the postseason.
Right. Yeah, you have to be relevant to be a rivalry. Like that's just the end of that. Any other baseball
Padres-
stuff?
The Padres, again, they're on the uptick. They're not there yet. We'll see what happens.
See,
They're
they
still,
signed-
again, they're not relevant. They haven't been. They got a lot of buzz and hype around them because of the signings and Tatis and all that shit. But you got to prove it, and you got to be able.
And
to
we'll see because,
stay
like
at
I
the
said,
top.
they've done this before. A couple of years ago, they loaded up on payroll. That ended quickly. They just signed someone to the largest contract that has not even played a combined season. Like they still have so much money out, and I still don't know where they're getting it. This could be a house of cards. So, like, let's wait and see. Like, could it be? No, never. But it could be more competitive than it has been for the last 30 years. that being said, it won't ever take over. There's one team I love to see lose, and it's the Giants. So like you can't.
Yeah.
And at some point, that's built in. Like you just can't.
Right.
you
I'm
can't
the same way
discern
with the
that.
Yankees. The Yankees lose, I get
Yeah.
happy. Doesn't
Yeah, I
matter
get
if
it.
I do it. Doesn't matter if I had a hand in it. I just like seeing them lose.
Yeah, and like even if that team, whatever that team is for you, like starts to do like consistently poorly in the league, you're still gonna like
You're still-
like me
even
said,
if
it's
you
like
beat 'em-
programmed in. Like
Yeah,
it's
you
never
beat
going
'em.
away.
And they're last in the division. It doesn't matter. You're still like, yes.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Yeah, like the Rangers just beat the Devils twice, and like both times I was like, "Fuck you," and it's
It's like
like,
stomping
Yeah,
them
they
while they're
did.
on the
I almost
ground.
put bets
Just
on
like,
them
stay
both
down, you
times.
piece of shit.
yeah. We'll get to that in a little bit, though. Let's do some basketball, Dubs.
Absolutely. LaMelo Ball, first rookie in 60 years to lead all rookies in points, rebounds, assists, and steals going into the All-Star break. So big accomplishment there for LaMelo Ball.
Yeah, he's looking like the real deal too. I mean, honestly,
He's
he
been
looks,
killing it for Charlotte.
Right. He's kind of reminds me of John Morant, as much of a different maker as he was. Not like the play styles or anything. I don't watch that much basketball, so I wouldn't know. But like how much of a difference maker he was for a team that would otherwise be fairly irrelevant.
You know who he reminds me of, like, as a rookie right now? Tyreek Evans up in Sacramento back in the day. Where he's just like putting the team completely on his back. I hope his career career turns out better than Evans. Not that Evans has had a bad career, he's been around the NBA forever. But that rookie year, everyone was like, oh, this guy's like got next. And he never took that next step after that. But LaMelo's been killing it.
I don't have
Hopefully he's
anything
able to keep it
against
going.
him. I hate his father, but I kind
Yes.
of feel bad for all of them for having to deal with that. That's one of the reasons he didn't get drafted. Like there were people questioning him during the draft, is because of that. Like
Yeah, because of what he did fucking 3 years ago with Lonzo.
Yeah. Yeah. And so I actually don't mind the kids. Like I feel kind of bad for some of them because they have to deal with this shit.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see LaMelo's younger. He's more outspoken than Lonzo was. But Lonzo seems like he just wants to fucking play basketball.
Well, and people to, forget about the fact that he can't shoot or,
Hey.
despite the fact being a point guard handling the ball at the end of games has like a 40% fucking free throw percentage. Yeah.
Yeah, that part. The handling the ball at the end of games part is tough. But his shooting's been phenomenal lately. He's
Well,
up like
then it must have picked
13%.
up 'cause,
Yeah, he's up like
like-
13% the last month.
Yeah. Okay. I was going to say, because I feel like earlier in the year it was not.
Yeah, because we're looking at trading him, and now they're talking about taking him off the block because he's like turning around.
Yeah,
But
I mean,
we'll
we've
see.
seen
They
it
could
with-
swing back the other way just as quickly.
His style of point guard is still valuable in the NBA. I mean, look at what Chris Paul has done for the Suns. I mean, there is still a pass first point guard to be available in the NBA. It still can work that way for your team, but you have to be able to shoot at the end of games, because if you're the one controlling the flow of offense, you have to be able to put down free throws.
For sure. Kobe Bryant rookie card sells for 1.8 mil. It's a hefty little price
Woo!
tag there.
Good God
Yeah,
Almighty!
Sports memorabilia is through the roof right now.
That's what I said, Birdie. I said, you.
Right?
I look at it, I says, woo!
The whistles go woo.
The whistles go woo. It's a new fad. It's called whistle tips.
If you haven't seen that YouTube video, what is it called, Double?
It's just Google Bub Rub and Lil Sis and it will come up.
It's great.
Phenomenal. The whistles go woo. But anyway, Devin Booker, Ben Simmons, and Joel Embiid all ruled out of the All-Star game. Simmons and Embiid were in close proximity with a barber who tested positive for COVID-19. Same situation we had with the Chiefs before Super Bowl week. And Devin Booker just got injured, and he is getting replaced by first-time All-Star Mike Conley. Fucking took a while, but we finally got there. Everyone calls Conley the best player to never make an All-Star game, and that will finally get taken off his resume.
That man's also gotten paid. I mean, I think he is over 200 million for his career earner. He has gotten
Yeah, probably.
so, snub with a grain of salt, I feel like.
They only played 10 years in Memphis, and now he's got a fat contract in Utah.
Yeah, and he got that huge contract in Memphis.
Right.
So, because they were competitive when him and Gasol were there.
Zebo,
Okay. Who?
Zach Randolph.
Oh, yeah, Zach Randolph, Rudy Gay.
Rudy
in
Gay's
the
a
early
stud.
days.
He's on the Spurs right now. Still kicking.
Yeah, he was on the Kings fairly recently.
Yep. Donovan Mitchell, Rudy Gobert fined for criticizing officiating. So they called out the officials after a loss the other night, and the league promptly
And they
fined
fined
them.
him.
Yeah.
What'd they
I mean,
say?
The league or the official? Or
No. What did they say about the officials?
I gotta find the exact.
Like,
They
did it
said it
cross a
was
line?
in short, not like in short, not like verbatim, but just kind of summarizing. He said that they don't get calls because they're a small market team and that no one wants to see Utah win, essentially, is what they said.
Okay. All right.
Mitchell got fined $25,000, and Gobert got fined $20,000.
Because at first I was like, I mean, you should be able to call out the officials, but there is a line in the sand, and if you cross
Nah,
it, you should face
most
action.
leagues will not. That's not okay with most leagues.
No, I agree, but I'm not saying whether or not it's okay. I'm saying it kind of should be. Like, if an official makes a bad call, like, they need to hear about it. But there's a line in the sand, and if you cross it, you should face action for that. Consequences. That's the word.
I feel like there's
so
not
good at
really a
English.
shortage of them hearing about it from the online trolls at the moment.
None.
I mean, if I was an
Zero
official in
shortage of
any
that.
major sport, I would not be online. Like, it would just be
I
that
wouldn't
simple.
either. Yeah, I would just come home, eat dinner, go to bed, go back.
Yo, get up every day, look in the mirror, say, "Be careful out there," and go do my job.
Yeah, pretty much, dude.
The life of an NBA ref. Any ref.
Anyway, yeah.
Fucking rec league ref. But
High school baseball, you keep seeing those fucking brawls break out. Jesus.
We're both good at English.
I love
Yeah,
a bench
yeah.
clearing brawl.
Yeah, I'm not smoking, but I still have. This is just me constantly, apparently.
Blake Griffin bought out of his contract by the Pistons. We figured that was coming, but that is the biggest buyout in NBA history at almost $40 million.
Yeesh. That's a lot of money.
It's
Crazy
a
amount
lot of money for him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just bought out.
Yeah.
That's a lot. I mean but you got to look back at the contract there and be like, eek.
I
You
mean,
know,
and
you
like
set
when we
yourself
talked
up for
about
that.
when they acquired both him and Drummond, I think everyone was kind of left itching their head. Like, why? And I mean, I think they did it to sell seats, honestly. I mean, Blake Griffin's a name in the NBA. No one talks about him anymore, but I'm sure he draws more than,
But even if Drummond and Griffin were at the top of their game, you don't like today's NBA doesn't win with dominant post presence. You need a dominant wing.
I mean, you could flip it on its head. Like, you could try doing that. If
But
your
typically
bigs are
the
bigger
last-
than everyone else, then that could be a path. But you have to have a team around them, and
Right.
they didn't have a team around them. They just went out and
It's
acquired
Spencer
two veteran
Dinwiddie.
players for no reason, and that just can't happen. I mean, even back in the day when it was dominated, you could still kick out to the edge if you had someone to shoot. Like, you have to have a team.
Well, even when they
if you're
were
gonna play that way.
together. Do you remember when the first year that Griffin went there? They had Griffin and Drummond, and then Spencer Dinwiddie was getting all the fucking recognition, like on social media and shit, because he was actually putting up 20 a game. And it's like they weren't even like the main option. I just don't feel that that's the way the NBA is going. I wish you could win with that being the formula.
I mean, you
Like,
could
with a
win with that
Robinson
being the formula
Duncan.
at some point. We'll see it at some point because everyone, like Dan Patrick says all the time, everyone's trying to win by being the Warriors at this point, and that's not always how it works. You can't always do that. So I mean, at some point, we might see a dominant, low post presence by two players. Those players are also going to be able to shoot probably a little bit,
Right.
even if it's a mid-range jumper. You can't only have
Like
the layup.
Jokic and Embiid. They're dominant on the
Right.
post, but they're not. They're multifaceted.
Right.
Another trade I could expect, or another move I would expect happening soon. Victor Oladipo, he's announced publicly he doesn't want to be in Houston, and him and his agent it's well known around the league that they want to go to Miami in the summer. Only 1 year left on Oladipo's deal, and if he has his sights set on Miami and that's where he wants to go, a team trading for him is going to be hesitant to give up too much if you're just renting him. I mean, it's just like in baseball when you see the same shit at the deadline.
Yeah,
You
although
gotta decide how much.
You could pull a Raptors deal and just get. I mean, they won a championship. They got their guy for a year, won a championship, and are now done. But at the end of the day, if you win a championship, I think it's worth it. But like you said, just as in baseball, guys with control on their contract go for more. You just get more out of them.
Right. But yeah, Oladipo is somebody I could see moving to a contender in the next couple weeks. Chicago Bulls executive vice president says there won't be many sellers at the deadline. However, there's a lot of speculation that LaVine and Markkanen could be sold off at basically their highest value possible. And that could just be a smokescreen by Chicago Bulls front office to try and bump the value even more on those two.
I mean, at some point you've reached your rebuilding threshold. Like at some point you have to try and build around those assets and try and sign them. Like, I mean, I get that everyone wants to rebuild and all that stuff. And there is something to be said for having an eye on the future. But at some point you've been rebuilding for 20 years now. I mean, you haven't been relevant since I was in high school as the Bulls.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
And we've talked about this team before when they had Rose. They had a glimpse and a moment, but
they were there every year for like 4 years. So like they were always competitive for like 4 years. They never reached, the championship, but at some point you have to try and get back to that. And after 20 years of rebuilding, that hasn't happened. You might want to try and extend and rebuild. Like people still want to play in Chicago. Like Chicago still got juice.
It seems like whenever a superstar hits free agency, the Bulls are still like in the mix to get them.
Yeah, like
that's like
New
a
York,
superstar landing spot. That's
right.
like New York isn't. Right.
The Knicks have faded. Chicago people still want to play from Chicago, and they still have the homegrown talent, like people growing up being Bulls fans there. Like when you can bring that back, like Derrick Rose was from Chicago.
Anthony Davis is from Chicago.
Exactly. Like they still have enough of pull in the league to be able to get that done. So at some point you have to stop rebuilding and try and build a team.
Right. There's some NBA beef on Twitter. Good stuff to see. Antoine Walker took a shot at James Harden, basically saying you can't win with someone with his play style, and he praised the Celtics for not trading for him. The other bit of beef was between Larry Nance and Channing Frye. Larry Nance basically was wishing everyone a happy Friday, except to the people that keep putting him in mock trades everywhere, which Larry Nance always seems to be somebody that happens to. Channing Frye responded with, "I wouldn't trade you for a broken shoelace and a pack of gum."
Yeah, and then Larry Nance dug a 6-foot hole and put fucking Channing Frye in it.
Body bagged him. Charles, get the body bag. Because Larry Nance murdered Channing Frye.
Absolutely.
He said, "I literally got traded for you and a first round pick." Which is true. Back in like 2016 with the Cavs, that happened.
Yep.
Got him.
Yeah, I mean, you should probably watch your mouth before you start throwing daggers.
That's what I thought. Like, Channing Frye didn't hit the Wikipedia real quick. He didn't remember that was the case.
First of all, you're Channing Frye, okay? First of all, Channing Frye.
I remember he went to take a 3 when he was on the Suns back when we had Garnett, and Garnett just punched him square in the dick. Like while he was shooting, and then
he's
he
like the
just took the
softest
ejection.
7-footer you've ever seen in your life.
Oh, that was all I had for basketball.
I was gonna. That was such a good moment for a "that's what she said" joke. When Meech said he's the softest 7-footer. Come on, that was like perfect. I was on the fence about it. I'm glad I at least
Oh my
said
god,
that.
You bring that up. I was literally watching the Office episode last night where they go to the convention and Jim has moved to Stanford. And
it's a great one.
Jen's like, I can't be holding your hand wherever you are. I can't remember what the fuck she said, but it's a "that's what she said" moment, and he literally just looks at her like, come on.
Yeah.
It's like him not saying anything is better than him saying that's what she said
Yeah.
at that point in time because he wants to say it
Yeah,
so
it's
badly.
so good. I mean, I like the one where it's like they're trying to tell him he can't make those jokes anymore, and then
Oh,
Jim
yeah.
keeps setting him up,
Jim
and then he
goes
just like,
off.
that's what she said. Like, it's so fucking good. It's such a good moment.
And they
That's
like pull
going
him
to
back
be
into
so
the
hard
office.
for
Yeah.
you.
What
That's
a
what she
great-
said.
What a
And then
great
he
show.
walks back into the office.
What a great show. All right, so let's talk some hockey. Now, we'll get to the biggest story of the week
Fuck Tom
in a
Wilson.
minute. Yeah, we'll get
Jesus,
to that in a
Birdie
minute.
just fucking amped himself up there. Did you hear how like intense Birdie just?
I don't know. I'm standing.
let's
you know, I
talk
got-
some hockey.
Yeah, well, I gotta, make it exciting. So we'll get to the hit in a minute, Dubs. Let's go over everything else first, because that's the meat, really. That's the rub. So, firstly, I guess we should give some
nice
thoughts and
rub
prayers
on it.
to Wayne Gretzky because his dad passed, and I don't mean to downplay that, but I almost had a fucking heart attack. Meech was playing Chell with me, and I pulled up the news, and it said Walter Gretzky died, and I thought it said Wayne. And for 30 seconds, I was like, oh, fuck. I was about to be like, Meech, I gotta go. And then
I gotta go.
I gotta go cry in the bathroom in the dark
I
for
gotta go do
30
something.
minutes. And then I realized it was his dad, and I was like, that's fucked up and sad, But so thoughts and prayers to Wayne. I guess we could talk about the downfall of, downfall.
There
I
was
guess
never-
the
they weren't
continue,
up
yeah,
anywhere.
exactly. The continual stay at the bottomless pit for the Buffalo Sabres.
Basically, I was curious if you think they could blow it up before the season's over, or if they'll wait till the off season. I figured they'd wait till the off season, but at this point, the writing's on the wall. It didn't work. I think. Eichel's
Yeah,
gone.
I mean, I think it's a little early because you normally in the season what you see is you kind of wait closer to the trade deadline because teams kind of wait for the trade market to get
Exactly.
set, and then once it gets set, if the Sabres don't make any moves at the trade deadline, I will be surprised, but I don't think they're going to blow it up that early. It'll definitely be the off season. And like I said, I'm very, very high on the fact that Jack Eichel will be a New York Ranger. If certain things go certain ways, Jack Eichel is going to be a New York Ranger. Which, come on over, Jack. We'd love to have you. Yeah, the Penguins in hot water here. Dubs brought this story to the table today, so I'll let him tell it. Go ahead, Dubs.
The Penguins, they posted to their Twitter account having fans back in the arena and everything, and how good it was. They photoshopped masks on everyone.
What the
was that?
fuck? Why?
I don't know. I mean, some people probably still had them on.
Right.
I don't think everyone
Yeah,
had them
no.
off, but
Yeah.
they definitely everyone that didn't. They're like, let's clean that up.
I mean,
Clean that up.
I
They see that guy in row 25.
I understand the
beer and the
actual
peanuts.
motivation behind it, but I don't understand how nobody stops and says, hey guys, maybe we just shouldn't. Maybe we just don't use that specific photo. I'm sure we have one photo where everyone has a mask on. Let's just use that photo.
Right.
You know what I mean? Sometimes.
They
You
posted it
force
on
your
Twitter.
fans to actually wear masks.
Right?
That's-
But other
that
than that, I don't really
too.
care. Everyone's already acting like the fucking thing is over. I live in California.
Yeah.
Arguably one of the most liberal states. I went to get takeout from a restaurant last night.
Right.
And it was like a typical Saturday night. Before COVID
Yeah.
happened. There were people everywhere.
Me
Yeah.
and Selena went out to lunch
know.
last week. It was the same boat.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
so,
went to the grocery store yesterday. It was pretty much the same boat.
So I'm like, I don't care. This story, I could care less.
Yeah, I just think it's
I just
funny.
thought it was funny, the immediate reaction on Twitter. They posted it, and everyone in the comments was like, that's photoshopped.
I mean, to me, it's just funny because it's you see it more in hockey than other sports, to be completely honest. But every now and again, a sports organization's marketing team, if you will, just makes a decision that you're just it didn't need to be made. There were 8 things you could have done before you did this. It's hilarious. I guess you want to talk about Kane and Yandel playing their 1,000th game, which Yandel, to me, that guy is, what a tough son of a bitch.
860 straight games.
Yeah. Straight starts, which in the NHL is quite a fucking feat.
Yeah, there's only 4 people right now with active Ironman streaks. It's Brent Burns, Phil Kessel, Keith Yandel, and I'm blanking on the last one right now. Patrick Marlowe.
Patrick Marlowe, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I mean, we had Yandel and I liked him, but he didn't fit in our defensive system, which was a lack thereof. So.
Yandel went to the prep school I deliver to all the time.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. We also
That's
share a
awesome.
birthday.
Nice. That's a good person to share a birthday with. Meech, you said the other night you shared a birthday with someone. Who was it?
Drew Doughty.
Drew Doughty. There it is. There it is. I got to look it up and see if I share a birthday with any hockey players. I bet it's someone I can't fucking stand, like Jack Johnson.
Maybe it'll be fucking Tom Wilson, piece of shit.
Yeah, let's get to this. All right, let's get to this. Okay. Now, I want to
Tom
hear.
Wilson.
I agree. I want to hear your thoughts, Dubs.
I think he's a piece of shit.
Yeah.
I think it was
Obviously.
an obvious, blatant, fucking nasty hit. I think Jacob Vrana is a piece of shit too. He also
Yeah, for that
can go
cross
fuck
check.
himself.
Yeah, like go
He
fuck
cross-checked
yourself.
his face into the ice. After
Yeah, like
he
you, like
concussed.
what the fuck is that?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was shocked. No one was as mad at like people should have been just as mad at Vrana as they were at fucking Wilson.
well,
But anyway,
yeah, go ahead.
Wilson just continues. This is his 7th suspension,
I think it's his 4th.
4th.
I'm pretty sure it's his 4th.
I know.
Either
he's been
which way,
fined
that's
over $1
3
million.
too many. That's 3 too
Yeah.
many.
He's been fined over $1 million in his career for hits and suspensions and all that shit.
Yeah,
And
Just saying something because they can only now. I mean, the new collective bargaining agreement, they can only be fined up to 5 G's. So that's saying something that he's been fined that many.
Oh, I mean,
times.
dude, like, okay, and here's the thing that I really want to say, because let's be clear and unobjective about it. Where the hit happened on the ice is a high danger area for that to happen.
and you can see Carlo when he was coming in, he like braced himself, but he was
Right,
like, this
now-
is gonna fucking suck.
Yeah, but that being fucking said, anyone who's played hockey will tell you that if you're going in that area of the ice, you let up a little bit. Everybody fucking knows it. Even Brad Marchand fucking knows that. Like, you just let up a little bit, and Tom Wilson clearly doesn't. So he knows what he's doing. Did he intend to really hit him in the head as hard as he did? I'm not sure about that. I don't think we can really say that for sure. I think that's pure speculation.
I don't think
But
he cares.
regardless,
I think he
exactly.
intended to hit and he doesn't care if it's
That's
the head
exactly
or the
where I
shoulder
was
or
going.
what.
It doesn't matter. He knew he knew the like potential consequences of what he was doing there, and he did it. He's got a fucking history of it. And I mean, I've been on this fucking soapbox for years. I hate that guy. I like, okay, he might be
Did you see
a nice guy,
Laviolette, like-
but like, oh my god,
Almost
can we
encourage
talk
it?
about fucking Peter Laviolette?
He almost encouraged it.
Yeah,
He was
no,
like, I
yeah.
didn't see anything wrong with it.
Yeah, and okay, we'll give him the benefit of the doubt and say maybe he didn't get to see the replay before he spoke to the press, right? Sure.
But also, listen, Bertie, if that's the case, most coaches will just, even if
Yeah.
they did, they'll be like, "Oh, I didn't get a chance to see the replay."
yeah, exactly. I got to
He
see the replay before I
blatantly
comment
was
on
like,
it.
"Oh,
Yeah.
no, I watched it. That was clean."
What do you expect from a fucking former Flyers coach, man? Like, fuck it. Like, honestly, like, I'm getting mad talking about it right now
It
because,
pissed me off.
and you know me, like, I'm not even a huge Bruins guy. I mean, I'll give them credit where credit's due. They're a good team, but I'm not really a huge Bruins guy. But, like, to me, it was like, dude, fuck this shit. Like,
Let's give Patrice Bergeron credit. His first season as captain, after Tenorti, a newly acquired defenseman, went and beat the shit out of Wilson after. Not beat the shit out of him, but fought him.
yeah, took a run at it.
And got a
immediately
few good
after the
looks on
hit.
him.
Yeah, he hit him a few times. And then while both of them were in the box, Bergeron scored on an absolutely beautiful goal where he had the entire
was-
net open.
it was
and he
beautiful.
still shot over the goalie just as a fuck you.
Yeah,
And
it was
then-
beautiful.
Tips his helmet to Tenorti in the box, smacks his stick on Wilson's box, and then goes up to the Capitals bench in between the period to talk shit.
Yeah, I mean, it's just
Stand up for your teammates, Patrice
yeah,
Bergeron.
Yeah, Patrice
fucking
Bergeron's the man. But like, the thing about the Tom Wilson saga, if you will, is it bothers me because it's like when is it too much? Like, when are they gonna like really draw the line here?
How many times are
know?
you gonna have him send people to the fucking hospital?
Yeah, because the
leave
dude
him
went
on
to the
ice?
hospital, man, and it's like, are we gonna just let this become a Donald Brashear situation again, where the dude's career is potentially over, if not over? Like, it's in
And
my
they let
opinion
Cook do it.
unacceptable.
They let Rafi Torres do it.
Well,
and
yeah,
now
but-
they're letting Tom Wilson do it.
Right, exactly. But you got to give credit, because when Cook was doing his thing, his own team called him out on it and was like, this is unacceptable behavior. The thing that bothers me so much about that is
Ovechkin had his back.
yeah, the whole team, the whole organization seems to be behind him on this. And it's just unacceptable. I really, like, I can't say much more than that, because I'm going to get, like, legitimately fucking angry. You know, like, it's just... I fucking hate that guy, and like, I'm sure he's not a bad person off the ice, but on the ice, that's a
Go
fucking
fuck yourself,
villain,
buddy.
dude. That's a fucking. I wish somebody would run on him like Reeves ran on him years ago.
I remember that.
And you know what, dude? The only people I've seen defending it are Caps fans. It's the
Reeves
only
ran on
people I've-
somebody last night.
Yeah, I didn't see
Yeah, I
that.
forgot who it was, but he did.
Yeah, I mean, he'll run on motherfuckers, run the Jules. Hey,
That guy is no joke.
yeah, he's not a joke. But the only people I've been seeing defending the Tom Wilson hit are the fans of the team. And that says more than anything. Like,
Right.
that just says all you need to say. If the only people defending
And
you are
when
the
it
people on your team.
happened, like all of Twitter blew up and was like, "Oh fuck, Tom Wilson."
Yeah. Fuck it. Like,
It wasn't just Boston.
and I was telling my homie the other night, before the hit even happened, I was telling my homie the other night, we were in Discord just like chatting and shit, and he's a Caps fan. And I was like, dude, if I was you, I wouldn't even want him on my team. And yeah, it might be a big hit. But like, Tony DeAngelo is a perfect example. Like, we had him on our team, and he was a human piece of shit on the ice. Like, he used like racial slurs, homophobic slurs, like all sorts of nasty shit on the ice and in the locker room. And when the team lost him, you know, it affected our defensive depth. Like, it's a pretty big hit. But I was like, I don't care. Like, I'd rather not have you on my team. So it's just like, Cavs fans do better. That's all I'm gonna say. All right, let's.
And I think in all
Yeah, go
sports,
ahead,
like
Beach.
there is a principle system that you have as a fan. Like, yes, can this person help me win? Like, it was rumored, and this is way off topic, but just as a for instance,
Yeah,
that we would be in on Carlos Correa next year. I don't know a single Dodgers fan that would be okay with that. Like,
right.
not only are you jettisoning the World Series MVP Corey Seager to do so, but then you're bringing in Carlos Correa, who has time and time again said so much shit about them stealing the World Series from us. Like, certain people just cannot be on certain teams.
Also,
Yeah.
aren't y'all like not going to be able to sign Seager? How would you sign Correa?
I mean, we could probably sign Seager if we want to. I don't think we will re-sign him, though. I do think he will be gone. He's Scott Boras, so.
Fucking Scott Boras.
But you still have pieces of that 17 team signed, and I don't think that could be overcome. Him walking into the room. This is a front office that has diligently done work. They looked into Mookie and Joe Kelly before they brought both of them in to see if they played any, even part in the Boston thing. Like, this is like, certain people just can't be on certain teams, and they know that. And so it's stupid to even have that rumor out there. But at the end of the day, just to bring it back to the NHL thing, you have to have principles sometimes.
I agree. Yeah.
So
absolutely.
at some point, you have to draw the line. It doesn't matter if this guy can help us or not.
Yeah, and that's basically like all I was getting at. You kind of summed it up perfectly. Like, I understand, like, you want your team to win, but you've got to at some point just do the right thing and be like, nah, like, I don't want any part of this. All right, I'm going to step down off my soapbox real quick, and we'll get to some football. How about it, boys?
Yeah, there's not much for football, but one of the big stories going around was Trevor Lawrence. He got his QB grade from Mel Kiper, and he made Mel Kiper's top 5 ever, the highest
Okay.
top 10 grades. So
Okay.
we're gonna go through some of them.
All right.
Number 10, Josh Allen. That one surprised me a little bit.
Yeah, I'm kind of speechless. But,
Yeah.
I
Number
mean,
9.
killing it.
He's doing great. Troy Aikman,
Yeah.
fucking stud, all around stud.
Yeah, starts to come and then he
Ryan
pulls out.
Leaf, number 8, all around bust.
Yeah.
7 was Bledsoe. 6 was Andre Ware, who I remember the name, but I couldn't tell you
Yeah.
how long he played, how good he was. I know he is phenomenal in college, though. Jim Kelly was 5. Trevor Lawrence came in at 4. Some real high praise for him of hearing the names he's over there. Number
Right.
3 was Peyton Manning. Number 2, Andrew Luck. And number 1, John Elway.
So he's only behind Manning, Luck, and Elway.
Correct.
Wow. That's a lot of pressure.
I don't
Right.
know about that one. I do not know about that one.
Yeah.
Real high grade.
Yeah, it is.
Real high grade. He wasn't even Chris Sims' first. Did you see that?
Yeah, I did see that. Chris Sims put Wilson over him,
Your
right?
boy. Yeah.
Well, see,
Yeah.
and I mean, like, this is the problem with, like, those lists is, like, so many people's are different, like, in any sport. And it's just, like, I don't know how seriously you could take them, but it is still, like, I'd imagine if you're him, a lot of pressure.
I mean, I don't know. You could not like. Jesus Christ! I just said his name. Oh my God.
Johnny
Chris Sims.
Lawrence.
Yeah, I was going to say
No,
Sims.
you could not like Chris Sims. I think you have to give credence to his list because last year whenever Allen and the Ravens court. Why can I not speak names today? Hello,
You got it, dog.
Hello.
You got it. I believe
It's
in
not
you,
much
dog.
different than every other day.
Get
Yeah,
that
I mean,
shit,
this-
son.
I feel like this is super bad. I don't know what the fuck is going on here.
Little Michael Sarah Jonah Hill action for you.
Oh, the funny thing about my
the
back,
Ravens
Jules.
quarterback Lamar Jackson. Jesus Christ. He had them ranked high when most
Just got
people
done
didn't.
drawing this big
Like,
faded
and
fucker.
one's won an MVP, and one's now widely considered a top 5 quarterback in the league. So, like, I think you have to give credence to his list just for that sake.
Yeah.
Also, a lot of people saying that John Lawrence is Jonald.
I love it.
T. Lawrence.
Oh shit, Jonald Lawrence. Henceforth, he shall be known as Jonald Lawrence.
Donald T.
Isn't as to do as much as far as talent wise than some of the other quarterbacks in the draft. We'll see. I mean, it's such a shit show every year. I feel like some pan out, some don't. Some are great in college and
Right.
never pan out in the NFL. You can never really know. You just have to kind of do your work, and then, in all honesty, put a system around them where they will be successful. Because
Yeah.
at the end of the day, that's on you. And I mean, we've seen it with Lamar Jackson. They have put the system all around him. They have rebuilt their offense to
Right.
be about him. So, like, you just have to do that if you want your quarterback to succeed. But we'll see. I always love the NFL draft. I get amped for it every year.
And I mean that's an interesting point you make because it's funny how sometimes you like a team in most sports they'll get a really high draft pick and it doesn't pan out and sometimes you look at it and you kind of wonder is it really their fault or is it the team's fault? You know, that's an
there's
interesting
so many
point.
moving parts.
Yeah.
To any of the major league sports, like you said. But at that position, it's so hard if not everything's perfect. I mean,
Right.
just look. I mean, even look if like Patty Mahomes went somewhere else. You know,
Right.
would he be as successful? He has
Exactly.
a great coach, a great offensive mind in Andy Reid. He has the talent around him. He has a good offensive line. Like, what if that guy goes somewhere else? Are we all talking about him the same way? And,
Yeah.
and it's such a finicky position, the most important position in sports. And it's very dependent on who drafts you and how they put talent around you and what system they install around you. So it's very, very system specific, I feel like.
Yeah, no, for sure. I agree.
But we'll see. We'll see where he ends up. I mean, Urban took that job, in my opinion, to draft him. So I don't know, and Urban's a good offensive mind. So we'll see what they do
Yeah.
around him.
I mean, that whole situation is going to be interesting as fuck. So we'll be covering that a lot in the coming months, I take it.
For sure. I can't wait for the draft. But that's really all that's fucking out there right now is the draft and like mocks and fucking
Well, there's been a lot of cuts
rumors.
in the NFL. We've seen
Alex Smith.
Yeah, Alex Smith got cut, and then restructuring. So, like, from what you hear about all of these NFL contracts, we're going to see a huge amount of veterans cut because the cap is going down and teams just don't have the room.
Offensive linemen specifically.
Offensive linemen have been huge. The Chargers, Raiders, both rumored to be moving on from 2 of their offensive linemen. But basically, one of the insiders was like, listen, we're either going to see people rework their deals, which we've seen. Kelsey got a new deal that restructured part of their cap. Brandon Graham got a new deal for the Eagles. And then we saw people like Cam Jordan restructure his deal with the Saints. So, like, we're seeing a ton of restructuring. And basically, the insider, I can't even remember who it is. I've been looking at so much stuff. But basically, they said, you're either going to see these people cut or have reworked deals so that they make it feasible for the team to, work with the diminished cap this year. So not too many cap casualties yet. The Bills actually re-signed Micah Hill and Andre Smith. But yeah, other than that, it's all just pending doom, basically. Is what we're hearing
I was
from these veterans.
literally about to say the doom is coming. So you guys want to talk about the UFC over the weekend?
I'd love to, because it was a fucking weird event.
All right, now before we
Weird
get
shit
into
went on.
this, let me just say that I missed all the preliminary fights. I only saw the main fight. So that's all I can really speak on. So walk me through what happened here. Because I know something
gonna go
crazy
through-
happened, right?
Yeah, that's some ridiculous shit. So
Okay.
there are 3 title fights. Amanda Nunes defended her featherweight belt against Megan Anderson. She won, no problem, nothing weird there.
In the
We'll
first,
skip-
right?
Yes, just
Yeah.
dominant.
I mean, she was like, I think I looked on pre-bets because I was going to throw down. I was like, she can't lose. I'm going to throw down money.
She doesn't.
She
lose.
was negative 1,000, like, which is just astronomical odds. Like,
Yeah.
you just don't bet if that's the odds.
Yeah.
And I didn't. I just held my money because there's nothing to be gained from that, and there's everything to be lost from it.
Right. Yeah.
Nah, Nunes is the female goat and one of the goats all around. She is a fucking legend. But then we'll skip the co-main and get to the main event. Blachowicz fought undefeated Israel Adesanya for the light heavyweight championship. Adesanya is the middleweight champion, but that belt was not on the line. It was just the 205 title. That one went to decision. Blachowicz got the win, giving Adesanya his first loss in MMA and the UFC. And we'll get to the fucking weird one, which was Petr Yan defending his bantamweight belt against Aljamain Sterling. There was a intentional knee to a downed Aljamain Sterling, which led to a Petr Yan disqualification. Basically, they checked on a concussed Aljamain Sterling for a while. He couldn't get back to his feet. They couldn't continue the fight, and he was rewarded the belt, to which he looked devastated and spiked the belt on the ground before crying in the octagon. So clearly wasn't happy with the result. Either way, there's going to be a rematch, but I don't know what Petr Yan was thinking. You can't knee a downed opponent like that. It's day one fucking rules. And Yan is relatively new. He's one of those UFC champions that is a beast, and hardcore fans know him and know him well. But he's one of the champions that the UFC is struggling to market to, the casual audience.
Right.
And this was supposed to be one of those fights that got his name out there, and it did that, but for the wrong reason.
Right.
Yeah.
And not any publicity is good publicity.
Yeah.
Publicity. Jeez.
You got there.
Christ.
You got there.
We made it out.
Yeah, Mitch almost was able to speak English.
I just
The day is
watched
always
it.
darkest before the dawn.
I just watched it, and it's pretty brutal, man.
Bro, he knees him straight in the fucking face. He
Yeah, like,
pulls his
in the
head
face.
into it.
Yeah, I mean,
And there's footage, and apparently Khabib was there and told Daniel Cormier that in Russian, the Jan's corner told him to knee.
oh no!
Because there you can hear the audio. Their head coach is in the front, and he's saying, "Just punch, just punch, just punch." And then you can see the dude in the back, like his mask moves, and you
Right.
can hear, Russian, obviously.
right.
And then as soon as he lands the knee, he's like, they all like start cheering yes, except for the head coach who was saying just a punch.
Right. Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know what went on there. Some weird shit.
Yeah.
But there's gonna be a rematch regardless.
Yeah, I mean, I can imagine winning a title fight like that has got to feel shitty.
When he went to his knees, you could hear him say something about "This is not how I wanted to win my first" or something like that.
Yeah, that's fucking sad, man. I feel
Yeah,
for you.
you
Well,
could just the look on his face. He was devastated. And everyone's saying Aljamain Sterling was acting, like to get the fight canceled. Not the fucking case.
yeah.
Dude is a warrior. He's been sleeping on his couch like,
If
on a
you've
pull-out
seen the
bed for
hit-
fucking years.
If
Like,
if you saw the hit, I don't know how you could think he's acting there. I mean, that's literally
I would say
just a
finisher.
strike right to the fucking head. Yeah, I mean,
Get over here.
Yeah.
He
I mean,
fucking
yeah.
finished his ass.
Yeah.
It's like the X-ray moves on Mortal
I mean,
Kombat.
and let alone, like, we've talked about this before in episodes, like, every athlete of any kind has a really high compete level to the point where, like, if they're injured, they'll still want to play, like, to the detriment of their
and
own
especially
health.
your adrenaline's kicking. Too.
Yeah, like, I highly doubt that he would be acting just, like, that's not
Bro,
not a
literally,
great
you
take.
go through the comments on the UFC's picture of him with the
Oh.
belt. It's all
Dude,
acting.
while
Actor
you
of
guys
the
were
year,
talking-
give him an Emmy. Blah blah blah.
when you guys were talking and I went to Google the footage, like one of the first videos that popped up was like a doctor who was like, "Is he acting?" And it's just like, come on, man. Like,
It's-
I've been punched in the face. It hurts bad enough. Like, I've been elbowed in the face, as I've discussed on the show. It hurts bad enough. Like, getting kneed in the
Quote, I
fucking
just
head.
remember his elbow.
Ugh, what a day.
That's what Sterling's
that was
gonna
a
say
tough
about Jan. I just remember his knee.
Yeah. Right? All right, well, anything else you boys want to talk about?
Nah, that'll do it.
All right, well, thanks for listening to this episode. Follow us on all the social media. It's Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube. It's all Stone Sports Podcast. Also on Spotify. We're out of here. Say goodbye, boys.
Peace.
deuces.
Laters.